rain a lot. So the feeling is good. Our teams seem to be ready. And we are going to go into our very first game of the Year of Rain offline finals. It's great to be here in Krefeld. I've already had some kebab. You guys know, if you watch StarCraft, that kebab is a must-have when it comes to Krefeld, as we are jumping into game number 1 here on the Thirsty Sands for our first map. So, kicking this off, getting this in, and just get ready to see what is going to happen for game 1 of this best of 5 series. Starting off in the lower left side of the map, we have Team Underdogs with Deathmech and Udwin. They're going to play the double undead setup, and very interestingly, they both seem to be playing tank, which is actually something we really haven't seen a lot of. Double tank. We've seen double DPS, we've seen double damage, we've seen tank support, tank damage, but yeah, double tank, that is different. On the upper right, we have a very different setup here. Holy Hit going to play tank undead, and Aeon Blue is also going to play tank. What is going on? Okay, I reckon we were going to see some different stuff tonight, but I did not expect us to see double tank setups. That's really interesting as we get into these early moments of the game. Our first structures are coming online. And to start this off, we are going to be seeing Holy Hit and Aeon Blue as well. By the way, Wraith and Spark Mage setup against the double Wraith of Deathmech and Udwin. Now, again, I feel like Deathmech and Udwin, Team Underdogs, are kind of the team to beat. They've been innovative during the matches we've seen so far. They've definitely been the team who have set new things up. But look at this double desecrated battleground from both of them. Before we see any tech on the map here, we're going to have 2 early production structures, and they're absolutely looking to outmass their opponents when it comes to numbers here in these early stages. You can see the 1 barracks, 1 desecrated battleground from Holy Hit and Aeon Blue. As we do see the first worker of Holy Hit already heading the top side, so he's looking for a faster expansion here as they'll begin to creep over on the right. A couple Spearmen and the Ranger in this little area. Early creep power here is actually going to be very interesting. The Wraith is so good at creeping early on, but that's actually, okay, that's just going to work out, although the Spearmen do kind of wander out of it. The double Wraith actually really allows you to creep kind of on your own on each side, and the early Whites also very powerful, especially because they're tanky. They regen that health. So actually, that's why we're going to see the split creeping coming in here from Deathmech and Udwin. You can see Deathmech has taken a lot of damage, though, early. And that's worth keeping in mind, because actually here on this map, we have no healing well. So to heal, you're going to have to see a little bit of that kind of Banshee play coming into style here. We see Holy Hit and Aeon Blue are going to go straight down the bottom as we are going into our second set of creeps. They will be behind a little bit leveling, just for a little while, just because, again, it's split creeping versus kind of combined creeping. While taking out this pack is pretty quick, obviously, then they're going to have a long time to rotate to the top, which is kind of where they do want to be anyways, though, because this is where they're going to want to defend their initial expansion. You can say there's not really much intention of an expansion at all. What are we seeing in terms of choices over here? Desecrated Battlegrounds are both just building up Whites. We saw a couple of upgrades coming in so far, just increasing the power of that tankiness, as we do see Temple from Aeon Blue. So he's actually going to go pretty quickly towards a few different options here. The Temple gives you that access in towards potentially the Library or the Floating Gardens. It gives you straight up access to the Cleric and then the Runecaster as well, if you go into Library, or Ginny if you go into Floating Gardens. We didn't see a lot of, in games before now, we didn't see a lot of fast tech in towards the Temple. Actually, most of the tech structures here went into Elven Conclave, getting Pathfinders up, getting Knights. So that's actually a very different way to go about this here in the early stages. So keep our eyes on that as the creeping continues. You can see again, Deathmech and Udwin, they really have just got so many of their early game units up, and that's why they're able to take these creep camps quite effectively, because these units are real tanky early on. And if they just overtake the map, can they take this pack? I feel like that is a bit too powerful for them to take in these early stages at least. So wouldn't expect them to be taking this here. You can see Young Blue's trying to scout out a little bit with the Fire Elemental down the bottom. So they are going to be later on the expansion in terms of Team Underdogs, but they are obviously creeping quite nicely so far. That 1 White there goes a little bit off-center. Udwin is making an attack up the right-hand side, and, we talk about maybe attacking expansions, etc., but what is wrong with actually just going straight into attacking the main base, right? If your opponents are focused on defending expansion, it's going to be a real big attack on both sides, and because we see double tank, we actually really get into a position here where they can kind of hold their own on these sides. These Whites are very difficult to get through early, But the early clerics out of Eon Blue might go a long way to help them with that. The little bit of magic damage they'll provide will be great. We see the Spark Mage dropping down that Fireball, a Horror Decay back onto that to fight against it, and it's going to be Eon Blue backing away. His Spearmen don't really fight against these whites very well. Meanwhile, you can see that Holy Hit has gone to the top side. Deathmech comes in, hits the Horror Decay. Holy Hit splits his workers out of there quite nicely, stunning the skeletons. Try and keep it alive on this top side Mausoleum. Deathmech taking some damage. They are double the level, by the way. Deathmech and Udwin level 4 here against the level 2s of Eon Blue and Holy Hit. So they are really out-leveling here. Their early game plan has absolutely gone so well for them. And you can see that Eon Blue is going to be in some trouble. He can't really clean these up very quickly. Udwin with a good bit of control, pulling this white back. Remember, with the tank spec chosen, the whites will regenerate health a lot faster than usual. As on the top side, you can see that Holy Hit is really in some trouble. That Mausoleum starting to take some shots as well. And actually, Holy Hit goes down. That's a much not really needed XP, but it's even more XP that's going to go the way of Udwin and Deathmech here. So now we're talking about, okay, level 3 hits in for Eon Blue and Holy Hit, but Udwin and Deathmech, they're going to be on level 4, nearly level 5 here. If they can pick up a couple extra kills, if these clerics go down, that might just be level 5 secured. One more cleric to die. When that dies, sorry, the Spearman, it's going to be level 5, and we are approaching the point where they have ultimates. And you got to remember, Holy Hit was dead during some of this, so he's actually still only level 2. So actually, Eon Blue and Holy Hit are in a lot of trouble here. And I mean, the expansion of Holy Hit going down, got to remember the expansion of Deathmech and of Udwin, they've not really been built yet, actually. I mean, there's one up on that top side here, but on the bottom side from Udwin, nothing at all. So far, looking pretty good in that regard, as we're going to be seeing the few units here from Eon Blue going to come and try and defend this expansion now. Deathmech has lost a lot of his early units, and what are we on? We're still only on Desecrated Battlegrounds here, so in terms of the overall kind of setup, yes, they're kind of behind on tech. Yes, they can't build much. You can see Holy Hit has that, Arcane Nexus up, perhaps was looking to tech up here but hasn't been able to. But he's just getting outmassed at the moment, and Udwin and Deathmech are absolutely controlling this game. They have a little while to go as Holy Hit's going to drop the fear to try and buy himself some time, but they are being bullied back in towards their bases. Yes, they have an expansion, but it isn't mining, and this expansion of Deathmech now getting off and really making things happen over on the left-hand side. So, yeah, as long as the only thing I'd like to see really is Udwin expanding, because the worst thing to happen now would be if Udwin didn't expand before he runs out of resources on this base down here. Only 500, 600 resources left. Once that runs out, you're long-distance mining, and there's not really a short, distance to mine. It's not like the smaller map Echo Glades, which is where you can kind of long-distance mine, but it's not super bad right away. You need an expansion. I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to be focusing on as Deathmech is going to clean these creeps in the center, so you could expand in the middle as well. Looks like Udwin will just take the bottom side base at initially here, and then they could both come into the center to expand to a third base too. Udwin, actually, sorry, I'm talking about Udwin not having an expansion. It's just you don't expect him to have an expansion on his opponent's side of the map. This is meant to be Holy Hit or Eon Blue's base, and obviously right now that's not the case at all. So this is kind of crazy. If they can actually mine from here, that's really insane. So Udwin does have an expand up. Apologies for not noticing that, but again, how often do you expect that to be on the wrong side of the map? That's not been seen ever. We've never seen someone in the game so far in this entire tournament take the other team's base. And maybe that's just a sign of how far behind Berlin esports currently seem to be. They really are struggling. We're about 120 experience away from underdogs getting to level 6. That's when ultimates unlock. And obviously once you unlock ultimates here, these guys are going to become even more powerful. They actually have this creep camp they can clean out as well because they have center control. So if they clean out this, is that enough for level 6? It's going to be pretty close. They're going to get a little bit of experience starting to come in now. Yeah, it really is kind of close here. So, again, level 6, the Wraiths, what they're going to get is their ultimate, which is the Pallid Garden, which it empowers your next attack, and typically what you do is you empower the Horror Decay, so that the Horror Decay becomes massive, so the area of effect damage spreads over a much larger area, and at that point, it's going to be so difficult if you don't have that kind of counter AoE of your own. If the Spark Mage can get to level 6, the Ember Storm would probably be pretty great here, pulls in those melee units, means they can't move, pretty much takes them completely out of a fight. But how do you get to level 6? You don't have the map control to creep. You do see Eon Blue. He's added in a couple of Runecasters, so if Runecasters coming into play, it's going to give him the chance to play from kind of a distance. Now, the Runecasters are thought to be very broken right now, because their ability, the Magic Trap, the Warding Glyphs, they slow quite a lot more than they're kind of meant to, and they stack as well, so you can be slowed for a very long period of time, to the point where if they stack enough, they can just stop altogether. You can see one of them going off there, and that right already getting slowed, and there it is again. It lasts 30 seconds at the moment, so a couple going off as Eon Blue is being chased to the top corner. Deathmix is looking for it. They're 2 experience away from leveling up. Yes, that is a great explosion though. What a nuke. Straight down. And that's going to be a kill. And that is something that actually Berlin Esports really need here. They need a good cleanup. They need a fight they can win. On the same time, on the bottom right, Udwin has to back away. Holy Hit's kind of getting outplayed here. The problem is Holy Hit doesn't have a lot of potential to, you know, outplay his opponent in this scenario, because it's kind of a mirror matchup. It's whites versus whites, but he has less, and he's a lower level Wraith. At least, you know, Eon Blue had a couple of abilities which his opponent didn't have, and with the Fiery Chains and the Runecasters here, you can get a lot done. The Clerics are keeping things alive as well, and, you know, a lot of damage is being done. They are pushing these whites back, so at least these guys, Berlin Esports, are winning the fight on the top side. Level 6 is up though, and Udwin is coming forwards. Can he find himself the ultimate? There it is. You can see the difference in that AoE. It's huge, but it is a trade-off. Both heroes will go down. Not sure who that really benefits there. It depends. It was really close who went down first and where the experience difference will have gone. You can see that Deathmix units now are in a little bit of trouble, and this is the problem with their style. They're playing only whites, so again, they're kind of being out-teched. You know, it's like they've kind of gone for a very aggressive early game strategy, and they definitely took a lead, but because they've been caught in that and not quite closed out the game, Berlin Esports are coming back into this. I mean, look at this army from Eon Blue. Nothing was really lost while they killed off all of those whites previously. So that was a pretty huge play there, as we do see Eon Blue now coming down into the center. He didn't die in this fight either. Talking about a level 4, about halfway through against level 4, just started from Holy Hit. Still level 6 is on the other side of the map. That is the biggest issue that they will come up against. Again, you can see, you know, that Horror Decay has a huge area when it's ulted up. They're currently coming into the center to try and clean out these creeps. You got to remember as well, I guess, Eon Blue's actually kind of mined out because he doesn't have a base to mine from. The typical base he would have, this one in the bottom right-hand side. Well, it was taken by Udwin very early in the game, so they're getting forwards here. Clean out the central creeps. I imagine Eon Blue and I might just take both of these bases themselves. Some players just drop the expansion in the center, mine from both, rather than go in one base from each player in the center. I kind of feel like they need to do something here. I wouldn't mind a push up this top side, try and deny this base of Deathmix. You know, the guys have been pretty consistent on the right. There's a Pyre on this defensive base here as well. I wouldn't even mind just a couple units heading off over here. I mean, you need quite a few, but if you send like a couple whites from Holy Hit and a couple of Runecasters as well, they should be able to do very well at kind of harassing and shutting down this base. Looks like we're going to have a fight breaking out. Udwin will get caught there in the Fiery Chains. Now the Runecaster's starting to fire. Fireball dropping down as well. Don't see much of an engagement. Currently we see Deathmix missing from the fight, creeping on the bottom side, just farming experience. But that does make this 2v1, and again the Runecasters will start to do a lot in this big fear. Pallid Garden on the other side, though, an entire army of Eon Blue is caught in this. The Runecasters are so expensive to replace. He gets out, but they're low HP. You're going to see another Fiery Chains on Udwin, as you can see the difficulty they're having fighting 2v1, and that's just how far behind they are in this game. Yes, eventually they might just about win this out, and you can see Udwin is getting caught by a Fireball. He's going to run away, he's going to get away. Deathmix now comes in. The thing is, Eon Blue and Holy Hit are kind of low from this fight, so they have to do, again, like a 2v1. Deathmix doesn't have a lot of units supporting, though, which is his issue, and Holy Hit has got a Minotaur Skeleton now. Those guys are so tanky. They are going to do so much in these fights, and if they survive the fights with the tank upgrade, they are going to be able to regen health very nicely. So again, it's the tech difference that we see in play, and that really does seem to be the weakness currently of Underdog. That's a fear coming in. Holy Hit is going to go and chase, though. That's a big Pallid Garden coming in from Deathmix, which means he has to, you know, Holy Hit pull his units out of there. Doesn't want to take damage for free. In amongst all of this, it's been a bit crazy, but Eon Blue has gone down. Udwin has gone down as well. The level difference really is closing a little bit. Holy Hit's nearly level 6. Deathmix nearly level 7, but once you get those ults up, the game changes a lot. Especially, I really feel like that Spark Mage Ember Storm is going to do so much if you can get that in the game right now, because that's really going to allow you, as Deathmix hits level 7, it's going to allow you to just absolutely nullify a lot of the melee units that are being used so far. Holy Hit kind of wants his forwards a bit too far there. This is interesting. It's a good fear. Deathmix was blocked off by the AoE. Holy Hit gets a few more shots off, though, and you can see the problem of the Runecaster with the slow, and that is going to be Deathmix going down, and that's a really bad time to fall because Udwin's just come back online, and so now they're 1v2 for a little while, and it gives the chance to Eon Blue and Holy Hit to get something done. they can pick up a couple of kills, hit up to level 6. They only need a little bit to hit that level 6. Problem again will really stand here. There is just no real mining. I mean, Eon Blue is out of money. He has no expansion. I imagine he just doesn't have money to build with at the moment, and that's why he's not doing anything at the moment in terms of expanding, because obviously expanding would have made a lot of sense. Yeah, he just doesn't have the money for it, and maybe he's saving up with that long distance line, and it just takes a long time. Edwin gets caught in a fiery chains, and we do see Holy Hit does have the better unit count here initially, but he went down in the fight again. We're not far off of seeing Deathmake coming back alive, 6 seconds, so Holy Hit will be down for a little while here. Udwin continues to chase over here, but now there's this Pyre in play for Udwin as well, so the Minotaur Skeletons can't really follow in, and again, I think the biggest issue of all is going to be the fact that you can kind of see it on the supplies. Udwin, Deathmake, 41, 51 respectively. Holy Hit, respectable 46. And Eon Blue's at 11 supply. And that's just because he's mined out, and at this point, he's basically just a hero here. So let's see what he can do. Another great power decay coming in from Udwin, really using that to force these fights away, get some free shots in during this. Eon Blue is still fighting again. If you hit level 6, these whites are going to struggle a lot. I love the Pyres over here. Deathmake did go up to a boneyard of his own, which means we're going to be seeing skeletal Minotaurs coming out from him as well. And that really is the next step of this composition when you have double tank up, right? We've seen the skeletal Minotaurs absolutely holding on to Holy Hit a bit. Once that comes up on the other side, I actually don't know what else these guys do. Again, Eon Blue having a long distance mine is so painful at this stage. And that's really where this game has kind of fallen apart a little bit. Eon Blue has kind of, Eon Blue and Holy Hit, they definitely fell behind very early. They've done a great job fighting to stay in the game and to come back a bit. But the long-standing problems really do remain. And that is, they've lost one of their bases to the opponents. They've been mining it out the entire time. As long as that happens, I mean, we're literally in a position where the only thing that Deathmake and Udwin have to do, Team Underdogs, to win this out, they just have to trade kind of evenly, because they're going to mine so much more over time. And that's where our problem stands right now. I mean, there's a lot of resources for Holy Hit and Eon Blue here, but they're really not mining it very quickly at all. Now this top side base in trouble as well. Well, there's not a lot of resources left here, but it's still not fun to lose it. With a few left over, the workers are going to go down. It costs money to replace those as well. And that's money that, Berlin Esports really cannot spare at the moment. A big fiery chains. Eon Blue, 5 experience from his ultimate. Can it make a difference here? Can he get that 5 experience? All of these units here from Deathmake on very high hit points, and as long as they're on high hit points, they're not going down, and he needs a kill. And that's a great fear. Fears it in towards the whites, which obviously just going to catch and get some shots off for free. Eon Blue continue to take a lot of damage right now, pulling away to the upper right-hand side. Holy Hit has ran all the way back home, bullied into the corner. Udwin with more units, with higher health on his Wraith, higher level. He's out DPS and he's outperforming. Finally, Holy Hit is level 6. Finally, he can come in here and try and power the garden, but, well, he's going to get hit by one. He goes down. He does return the favor. Udwin actually kind of just sits in there. I wonder if he was just happy to reset. If you die now while one of your opponents is already dead, they're going to miss the experience from that. And, of course, it means you're going to come back online, back at home a little bit faster, which means you can get back into that fight that little bit faster as well. Love what Deathmake's doing, though. At the same time, he's just boomed straight into this central base, and Holy Hit, well, he has this base still just about alive up here. Somehow, this Null, these couple of Nulls have worked their way over there. I don't know how that's happened. We've never seen the creeps adventuring out. I wonder if they've been baited there by Team Underdogs a little bit. That's kind of annoying, having to summon, skeletons to fight against creeps. That's definitely not meant to happen. Holy Hit and Eon Blue are going to type GG, and they will have their buildings falling as our first victors in this best of 5 are going to be Team Underdogs. They're called Team Underdogs, but honestly, right now they seem like the top dogs. Absolutely incredible early game from Team Underdogs. There they are on your screens right now. Deathmake on the left, Udwin on the right. They should be pretty happy because they absolutely outperformed their opponents, I think. Eon Blue did a great job with what he had, but if they can't get into a strong enough position through the early game, it's not going to matter. They are going to be in trouble. So, as we get ready to go into a game 2 here in just a few moments' time, Berlin Esports will have to think about what happened in that early game. Perhaps it's something to do with the fact that we had a bit of a, there's a lot of aggression in the early stages. They definitely seem to fall to that. And it really was, double desecrated battleground. There was no real tech choice being made. It was really like a let's get the momentum and win it from there sort of scenario. So that kind of went down, and it was just won out by underdogs. It was a great strategy. The fast tech to clerics, the problem is the clerics theoretically are kind of a good answer to that because they do magic damage, they get bonus and damage done against heavy armor melee units, but there just wasn't enough of them up right away. And also it was the creeping pattern. The creep pattern allowed team underdogs there to basically get a 2-level advantage, and that's kind of because of their unit choice early, and that's what snowballed as well, because when they're 2 levels up, all of the fights go very well very quickly as well. So getting ready to go. All right, so we're going to be a couple of moments here getting into this. We're just trying to host a lobby. And we should be back momentarily. All right, just setting some settings up and stuff, guys, and hopefully a couple of moments, and we can get this started again. Going to be Berlin Esports trailing in the series. You're obviously going to change map a little bit, so get that ready to go. And we are going to be back in a couple of moments. Just trying to fix up a couple of settings, and also just freeing up the lobby as well. So let me just fix the settings quick also. Do let us know what you're thinking out in the chat as well. You're a little bit far away, but I can see you guys, so hello, hello. Good to see you all. As we will be back in this momentarily. All right, gonna get this hosted up in a moment or two. Going into Echo Glades, we've seen a lot of ranges on Echo Glades. People think are very powerful because typically you want to creep the bottom of the map. And as you creep the bottom of the map, you're generally ending up in a position where with the ranger you can win the bottom fight. And if you can win the bottom fight, it turns into a very, very powerful scenario where suddenly it's kind of what happened in that last game, right? You can out-creep your opponents. If you lose the bottom fight, then you can't really take the creeps on the healing well, so you don't get to heal while the other team does, and that can spiral pretty quickly. So have to be a little bit careful of that, as we will get into Game 2 in just a few moments, guys. Sorry, it took a little while to get this lobby hosted up, but again, not far from doing it. Again, I'm Wardy. Good to see you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Undead Champs, the finals of this Year of Rain tournament. Year of Rain now in closed beta. What's really been amazing is since the game went into closed beta, we've seen so many strategies develop, and a lot of units, like we saw runecasters this game, and we've never seen runecasters used at all throughout the entire tournament so far. And I think if you just look back to week 1, the first week we saw melee units from one player, range units from another, and that was it. Everyone played tank damage. It was the same style. Now we've seen a lot of different strategies. Now we've seen a lot of different ways to get into the games and get ready to go. So it's been a lot of different strats, and that's obviously been very cool, very interesting. A lot of different ways to kind of play the game out, and it is cool because we've seen like this double tank strategy. I have not actually seen that one before, so that's very different as well. That's was not what I was expecting at all, actually. When you talk about different builds you expect, I mean, it's kind of hard to say what you expect in terms of a game that's so new and stuff. Obviously these guys playing in this tournament want to try and keep their builds and styles and stuff very secretive as well. So if they find something they think is really working, then obviously it can become very, very interesting very quickly. So that's where we're kind of been at so far. So at the moment, we seem to have one of the teams not having a good time trying to join the lobby. So hopefully we can get that figured out in a couple of moments and resume. That is the reason for the setback at the moment. Should hopefully only be a few moments more in the Year of Rain. It's really cool, obviously usually I come to Take TV, I come to Grefeld for the StarCraft events, but walking into like a completely different setup, there's a Year of Rain just everywhere. There's banners, there's a really awesome cake. Yeah, I can't even describe the cake without you guys just seeing it. Check out the social media posts, I'm sure it's up there. But yeah, it's obviously a very different atmosphere to usually being here, so very cool to kind of come along and to do something a little bit different. As, yes, Team Underdogs are leading 1-0 over Berlin Esports. Definitely just came very, again, you know, if you missed that first game, we just saw a very aggressive style on one of the larger maps as well, which was what was so interesting. But of course, once you can start controlling the game, it's very tough to get back. But we did see a really good effort of the team trying to come back and to get back into it. And, you know, Bill and Esports definitely played well. They definitely did the right kind of thing. They took some very good fights as well, I think. You know, it was kind of that point where Eon Blue was able to take a good fight, and the only problem was he wasn't able to expand off of it. And I think if he'd expanded off of that, he would have been in a position where suddenly both of them are in a pretty good spot, but obviously if then, you know, neither of them are in a pretty good spot at all, then that's a little bit problematic. So it looks as though, I mean, they are talking to an admin or so right now to see what's going to be done to get this fixed up. What's up, everyone in the chat? How are you doing? What's up, everyone here in the Take TV bar as well? It is, like I say, a beautiful night for some year of rain. We are just hoping to get back into this in a moment or so. Again, hoping for an update once we get some word from the guys as to what's going to happen here. And then we can go back into it. Really excited to see what, like I say, like we've seen a lot of very powerful undead Banshee play as well. I know I've played against this a lot where you get the Banshees to kind of be very supportive. They kind of, the thing is about underdogs as well, out of all the teams we've seen, they've been the team that have come up with the most interesting and different sort of styles throughout the tournament. So getting ready to just restart the lobby here. They've absolutely got like different styles for each map, but they can also play like a couple different styles on each map as well, which is what makes them dangerous. You can't just play game 2 and be like, okay, they did this last time, so, you know, we're going to do this time, right? As we are just getting that lobby up, hopefully our players will be able to find it this time. Obviously, there just seems to be a couple of issues, hence me wobbling on about bits and pieces as we get ready to go. When is this game actually going to be released? Right now, we're in closed beta. And the plan is to have early access out in the relatively near future. They've talked about this. We had a bunch of talk shows on the stream over the last couple of weeks, and the general idea is they want early access. Well, early access is coming in 2019, hoping for maybe getting out in October, but no exact promises. All right, so it's looking as though we're going to be seeing Eon Blue can't join the lobby. That's what we are currently having issues with. So perhaps it seems like we've hit like a number of players that can enter issue. We have had this before. So hopefully something that can be resolved pretty quickly here. I wonder if these guys are going to try and host the lobby instead. That would also work. That would also work if these guys jump in. Let's see. They put a lobby up, join. Okay, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. Wouldn't be a proper finals without technical difficulties. You know what? It just adds to the suspense. Will Berlin Esports come back? Can underdogs survive the downtime and keep their mindset? The answer is we don't know, and we'll find out after a quick little break. We'll be back in a few, guys, just getting this fixed up. Don't go anywhere. It's the Undead Champs.
Never taking whatever you told me. I know what I could be. Making emotion physical and so tell me, is this what you made me? When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember.
We wanted to run, we wanted to fall together. Back then our world seemed so clear. We grew so bright, shimmering lights around us. We'd take flight into the sky. How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. You will see. You will see. How many worlds would you cross to use the light view. There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. Take my hand, I'll lead you on into the stars. We'll ride away from all the wars. Close the doors and disappear again. And I don't know how many times I've said that this is not the end, and we will make it out of here alive. Oh, alive. Alive. Oh, alive. Alive. How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. You will see. You will see. How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. You will see.
It wouldn't be a true offline final without some delays and tech issues. That's when you know you've got a real game going on. We are back. Sorry for the delay, guys. We had some issues, but it looks like everyone is in a lobby. It looks like everyone is good to go, and of course, we're about to change up the map. We're going into Echo Glades, where the Ranger generally tends to prevail, and we are having one Ranger picked here between the two teams. So we are about to set this up. It's game 2 of our grand finals. It's Underdogs versus Berlin Esports. Let's have a look to see what happens here on Echo Glades. Starting off down in the bottom left-hand side, we do have our teal and blue players. And it is going to be Holy Hit and Eon Blue, both once again playing tag. Now, excuse me, just one very quick moment. I'm just going to quickly invert that. Nailed it. Alright, in the bottom right-hand side, playing, we do have a difference, obviously. Undead and human. It is going to be Udwin and Deathmik from Underdogs. Udwin is going to switch to human, and he is going to play that Ranger. The Ranger is super deadly to mage-based characters such as the Spark Mage and the Wraith, which is the choice of Eon Blue and Holy Hit. So right from the start, well, here's my prediction of what's going to happen. Deathmik and Udwin are going to push bottom, and they're going to play super aggressive over this bridge, and they're going to try and steal creeps from this camp without engaging this camp of their own, because with the Ranger, they can go into an early Hunter's Mark, and with that mark, they can slow Eon Blue or Holy Hit and increase their damage taken, and they will take a lot of damage from the range shots of Deathmik and Udwin's heroes. So they should get pushed back. What I would love to see in this scenario is not for Berlin Esports to try and fight this. I'd actually love Berlin Esports, if that does end up happening, to just back off. Take this creep pack. Yes, they're going to get the 2 down here and this one for 3, but you can still end up with 1 and 2, and a healing well to get the healing advantage and the health advantage going on from there. So there's absolutely a way to play around it. You can then rotate down to take a faster expand on the top as well. Let's see what happens. Our first little bit of aggression is setting up along the bottom side of the map. And you can see these guys, they're running way down bottom to avoid engaging these creeps up here. Have to make sure they do that with their follow-up units as well. Oh, and the Collinger Elemental of Eon Blue is gone up top, so there you go already. A couple of poking shots coming in, and you can see Holy Hit and Eon Blue's units taking damage. Remember, if they go down as well, they take a lot of hits there. This is what I mean. The Ranger just gives you so much power here, and you just cannot see these guys really advancing far forwards at all. That's another hit from Udwin, and Holy Hit and Eon Blue just have to back away. Like, again, I really believe just backing away from this is the way to go. We do see Holy Hit's actually also investing into the upgrade here, so he's going to get the whites a little bit better off altogether. So that is going to finish, but it does mean he's down a little bit of production. And right now, Udwin and Deathmik are not really looking to bring too much else into this. You can see Eon Blue's getting super low as he's chased away to the side. Deathmik kicks some hits. Now Holy Hit will take some shots on the exit. Ooh, Deathmik has pulled the creeps, which is going to start making this a little bit tough for him. Again, there's not many units on the other side just yet, as now obviously Holy Hit, he's actually got the creeps on his unit. This is getting a little bit crazy. Udwin does make the play and hits Eon Blue down, and no, that's Holy Hit as well, going super low! Double hero kill early, and now they can creep, and they get so much experience, of course, where their opponents don't. Deathmik has gone up through the center. What is his plan right now? Boss, which we've never seen killed in this entire tournament. As we do see, Deathmik is coming up to the top side. He just looks like he wants to completely back away from this. So they have been gathering units of Deathmik down the bottom. I'm kind of surprised they didn't start going forward to try and creep there. Altogether, we've not actually seen any creeps really killed. It's just those hero kills to give a little bit of a difference. And if you look at the summary, you can see the 285 XP, of course. That's the advantage right now. That will start to change as creeps are cleared. But in the end, it looks like both players, or both teams, will get their creeps on their side of the map. Now, here's what else is interesting. Holy Hit, Mausoleum just starting. Deathmik still hasn't gone into his at all. So we'll see what happens. In terms of production, it's just one Desecrated Battleground pumping out whites. You can see this time, Udwin has gone straight towards the stables. So he's obviously, we didn't see these guys play a human character in the last game, but Knights absolutely make the most sense in this sort of scenario here, as Deathmik comes across to try and deny some creeping, but the creeps on the bottom are cleared. Obviously, Underdogs can fall back to the right-hand side, where this creep pack is still up and running. But the most important thing is probably to get these creeps on the top side. clean this out and also get the healing well up. Now, actually, Berlin Esports don't really need the healing well because they got killed, right? And so if they got killed, they don't really need to heal up. They got, healed by coming back in. That's the Hunter's Mark. That does a lot of damage. Udwin having to be careful of the AoE there. But again, he's 1v2ing, and all he wants to do is keep them busy. As long as he's not, like, losing too much, as long as he's not dying up here. Look at the poke potential of this Ranger. It's ridiculous how good it is. Holy Hit's just standing in shot after shot. Neon Blue comes forwards here, and Udwin is going to go for it. Holy Hit's super low. Udwin hits level 3. He will get the cleanup. The thing is now, if Udwin goes down, he's going to try and dash away, and he might just make it out of there. He will. Udwin on 30 health is out alive, and they control the healing well at the top side as well. So Udwin can pull back around the top, heal up, and what a crazy... Can we just look at this XP difference? It was 846 to 0 a second ago. I think that may have been a little bit bugged out. 846 to 270. We are level 1 against level 3, and again, underdogs have absolutely created a way for them to put themselves up into a position, into a lead. And what do you do now? I don't think Holy Hit and Neon Blue can fight this. This boss in this little pack here does so much damage. Look at this first white get nuked down. He's going to pull back, so good job there. I mean, they can probably take it down, but it's going to cost them a lot of health at the very least. And that makes it very risky, because if you're on very low health and you don't have healing well control, then you're obviously not looking great in a fight, and you do see a couple of units dropping as well. And that pack leader's still alive here, so in the end, they are able to clean this up, and that is a creep pack. There's only one of on the map. So it's not replicated elsewhere, so that is a good way to play a bit of catch-up on the XP. It's kind of risky, but the risk absolutely pays off here. Now, they're still behind on XP. Remember, they're 2 hero kills behind based on what happened early. As we do see Eon Blue and Holy Hit down 1 game in this best of 5, by the way. No, we don't have a score up on the screen, but they are down. Oh, we do have a score up on the screen. Well, there you go. You know what? I lied. I wasn't even looking at the production. Look at that. These guys are on top of everything. The next play here from Berlin Esports is truly to make their way around this side, clean up this expansion. I think just expand ASAP. But you can kind of see that underdogs are really just creeping fast. And I actually wouldn't mind underdogs also taking this top left creep. And so what I think you want to try and do here is, yes, they're going to out-level. And so what does Berlin Esports do against being out-leveled? You kind of just have to play efficiently and just try and play defensively. Because defensively, you should be able to trade better. And so if you can force the fights on your side, it should go well. And the setup here, the army composition, runecasters, and clerics, is definitely better designed than the current just kind of, well, knights and whites. And what is really going to be very apparent is, can those ranged units connect a lot of the time against melee units that can't get in range because of the runecasters? That would be the big play here. That's going to be the real question. I feel if that happens, those runecasters can become a big part of this. We saw it happen once there. You see those traps being set up at the moment. If they can catch that, that would be absolutely huge. There's the first slow coming down. Really nukes this down a little bit. Great catch on the fiery change. Allows the runecasters to get a lot of damage done. Look at Deathmix units just getting nuked. Big fear though. Love the position of Deathmix hero before he drops that down. Forces the units away quite a lot, and that's a lot of lost damage time here as well. As we do see Deathmix continuing to drop down even more damage, but he is taking a lot of runecaster hits, and this is what I mean. The team of underdogs will not really fight too well, and Holy Hit has so many units left over. You know what we didn't see? The Knights. Where on earth were they during all of this? Absolutely nowhere to be seen. And also, towards the start of the fight, Udwin kind of got nuked down as well. So this was kind of a crazy good fight, and suddenly, Eon Blue and Holy Hit are only behind 100 experience. The levels are the same. They do have a few less creep packs to take, so overall, they do kind of fall behind a little bit because these creeps still need to be cleared, these creeps need to be cleared. They have 1 creep pack here that was already cleared on the other side. But otherwise, that was kind of what I'm saying. They have the units, they have the tech advantage because they didn't go super aggressively. That's a shame to lose that cleric there, as Eon Blue is going to start getting nuked once this fire element goes down. He needs to be careful. This is getting low. I mean, this pack leader actually does a lot of damage. I've fallen victim to that a lot in my online games the last few days. It's very easy to just think, oh yeah, I'm kind of okay here. Knight's going to counterattack in, so Udwin through the bottom side. We haven't seen the Knights in the previous fight. Going to come in, get a couple of workers. The Skeletons are summoned from the Mausoleum to play defensively, and Udwin has to start backing away. There's a Runecaster coming in that should be able to force some repositioning of these Knights. Knights are fast though, and Runecasters are specifically slow. They're a siege unit, and that is their weakness. However, that's the fiery change that should allow the Runecasters to get some shots off. and they do a lot of damage when they get those shots off. Now the slow's coming down. Now the Knights can't retreat as easily. From the high ground, Deathmake is going to hit a great horror decay, and Holy Hit will fall. Neon Blue kind of up to him right now to hold this off, as we do have equal supplies around 80 each. This fight is getting crazy. The Runecasters have a huge role to play, though. Those melee units really on top of the Runecasters, and they are strong against them again. Melee attacks against ranged armor definitely benefits here, as you're going to see Deathmake surviving at the moment, and the problem is there is just no hero up anymore from Neon Blue and Holy Hit. They've both been taken down. Deathmake coming in from the top side, and suddenly this is spiraling out of control. We have so many whites here from Holy Hit, and yes, they're starting to deal damage, but they are just seemingly so slow. And you know, now Udwin just gets out of there. He's pretty low HP, but you know, loop around, get up towards this healing well, get healed up, and they still have creeps to clear here and here. And if they clean those creeps, it's going to be an even higher level advantage. You know, we're going to be talking, I mean, they're already level 6 against 5, potentially level 7 against level 5, depending on how much Holy Hit and Neon Blue can clean out. Deathmake's very committed with these units. I don't like that. That's a lot of experience that our Berlin Esports are going to gain. If they can hit level 6, they do have that ultimate on the Fire Mage. The Ember Storm is so powerful. We do see a couple more cleanups, and there they go. They hit level 6 on the Spark Mage at least. Holy Hit a few kills away from that. Obviously, not having this creep cleaned out means that this expansion is still not taken. That is one of the ways which Eon Blue is going to be a bit better set up. He struggled to get the expansion up in game number 1, but here in game number 2, he's got it up comfortably and ahead of the other team. It's another way that Berlin Esports can fight back from the early deficits they face in this game. And they are going to go for a bit of a push right now. We're looking at a supply advantage, actually, for Berlin Esports by about 10. I mean, the thing is as well, Udwin's just still low HP, never healed up, so in a fight, he could go down very quickly, and if he falls, that's going to be a problem. Deathmake's about to come online. We saw him go down at the end of the previous fight on the bottom left side of the map. Berlin Esports, they check, they see no expansion. I think as long as there's no expansion, they can maybe tech up a little bit and just say, we don't need to fight. What they can do, control this choke point here. However, when you control this choke point, bottom side counterattacks become very powerful. Love this Pyre. Looking at that, both sides just pired up. Whoa, there's the Ember Storm dropping down. You're going to see the nuke coming in on Holy Hit. The Ranger very good against this. The Ranger's such low HP, and that still wins this fight. Now I'm going to turn on to Eon Blue, who's struggling to get the kill, and Udwin's going to survive this. Hits level 7 throughout it. I can't believe that they've pushed Eon Blue and Holy Hit back with a, what, like, a 5, I guess it was like a 15-20% health Ranger. My god, that's actually crazy. Holy Hit is going for the surrounder. Udwin is going to have to go running as Holy Hit looking to continue fighting. Over on the left, there's the dash away, though. We've seen Udwin make some quick getaways today. Neon Blue still just about alive. They're cleaning up a lot of the Knights, but their Runecast account absolutely demolished. It's mostly Holy Hit's units that are left, and they are looking good. They have a lot of units that are going to start pressing forward. See, if we look at the supplies, 73 to 46, that's a great Pallet Garden on the Horror Decay, though, but Deathmake is low, Deathmake falls. Udwin's still low from before. If this can be a double hero kill here, these whites can obviously go crazy on the production structures, on the bases. Udwin is slowed by the Runecasters, goes down, and this could be an expansion kill right now if Holy Hit can make his way through there fast enough. Skeleton's going to be summoned. Holy Hit begins to back away. Back on the map already. Holy Hit coming through the bottom side, but he's sending units through the bottom as well, and that Pyre is creating some complications. Deathmake on the counterattack with some rights as well, coming in to hit this base of Holy Hit. He is going to lose those, though. Again, the Runecaster's great at slowing, and Holy Hit Skeleton's able to get shots off because of it. The Runecaster's kiting away, doing a great job of that, exactly what they should be. I kind of liked Holy Hit not getting greedy here, because you have to remember, did they have to go for the kill right now? Absolutely not, because there's still no expansion on the top side. As long as that expansion is not in play, Berlin Esports can sit back a little bit, and what a turnaround they made in this game. I mean, now we're looking at, you know, Berlin Esports level 6 apiece against level 6 and 7. Yes, there's a slight level advantage on the other side. Deathmake's about to hit level 7 too. But they have the army disadvantage, they have the base disadvantage, and now, look at this. Holy Hit can heal up on the healing well, get set to go again. They're going to be fully restocked and ready to go once more, coming in into the next fight. Runecasters clean out that Pyre there very easily as well. And it's going to be Eon Blue from the left, Holy Hit from the top, and it's underdogs for the first time in this grand finals, looking to be on the defensive, looking as though they're going to be in some trouble. Deathmick runs up to the high ground right here now, and 9.2 coming along with him. Meanwhile, Eon Blue, though, is going to siege up this mineral line, and that means the workers are going to start dropping. He's going to start responding because this is a threat running across the map. There's Holy Hit being chased, but he disengages for the moment. But there's the dash, there's the fear. Lovely fear, because the Hunter's Mark just came down. That's a lot of wasted time. He didn't get a single shot off while the Hunter's Mark was up. So Holy Hit, I feel like he should survive that, but he's actually going to still take so much damage. Again, the Ranger really outclasses in hero versus hero in this scenario. You can see Holy Hit is running for his life. He will fall. Meanwhile, Deathmick did come over on this base. Eon Blue goes into that defensive mode on the keep, which will put out some damage. Deathmick taking hits. His couple of whites here will go down. This does save the workers as well. Again, one of the great things about this game is that defensively you have a lot of options. It takes some real commitment to really move through. Good fear disengages Eon Blue, and Deathmick might get out of there alive still as Udwin is trying to clean up the fact that there's Minotaur skeletons and all sorts over on the other side. So both players' expansion in trouble. Udwin only just got this base up. It's so important for him to get some mining going in all of this. Oh, Udwin's taking some damage. That's not great. Remember, he should have a dash, so if things get a little bit too dicey, he should be able to get out of there without too many problems. And as we have a moment of calm, it is just going to be healing. Most importantly from Underdogs. They are going to get healed up on the top side, and now suddenly Eon Blue coming in through the center of the map again. He's got a lot of runecasters, and they are going to get scary. And again, the runecaster with the warden glyphs. It's an invisible trap that will slow your enemies, and that is super effective against a melee-heavy composition we're seeing out of Underdogs. And that's why I really kind of like these guys in these fights. You can see a couple of those traps going down on this ramp just there, and now, again, looking to just nuke down this mineral line. Deathmick pulls out of the way. Doesn't matter, two of them go down instantly. Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing you really do about this. This high ground position, you just punish it by pushing elsewhere. It's your only real option. Eon Blue is still looking to play defensively over here as Holy Hit has a lot of army though, and Deathmick is kind of cornered. This is Wraith on Wraith. That's going to be a great power Garden, Horror, Decay. Lots of damage, half health on Deathmick there. That's going to be the reverse, but it is not going to do as much. It gets a lot of AoE done, but it doesn't hit Holy Hit down very much. He escapes away quite easily now as the Ranger coming in to try and pick up some kills. Holy Hit just going to disengage. He wants Eon Blue in this fight. The Runecaster should do a lot in this, but this is problematic because this base is not currently mining. 4,000 resources left on it, and now the other team are going to start catching up on that as well. But Holy Hit, well, he's going to come up to make sure this base can get mined again. Deathmick will set up the disengage via the fear, and that should be Underdogs backing away once more because again, they just don't really have the numbers to fight. Again, that base only just coming online, losing some economy over here. They're missing out on a lot of production cycles, and as they miss out on that production, you can just see that one of these armies is a lot larger than the other. You don't even need to do the mathematics, guys. It is as simple as that as Udwin continues to pull away. He's going to go for the nuke, though. Holy Hit just dies in 2 shots again. Ranger is so good against this. This is the sort of scenario where melee units actually become really, really good, because if you've got the melee units out, Paladin works great in this. They don't get nuked as hard, first of all, but there's also a lot of sustain on those melee units. Heals, leech life. That's the sort of thing that keeps you alive in those fights against the Ranger. It is why the Ranger is so strong in this meta of what Berlin Esports play. They play double caster, and it absolutely does pain them when that Ranger comes on the map on this smaller map. But I'm not sure if that matters. Yes, there's some hero kills going on, but the army differences are so large right now. Holy Hit's going in from the right-hand side to come in for a bit of a surround. The Ember Storm as well. Nothing can move. Holy Hit's going crazy. We'll just put out so much damage here. And, well, the slows are there as well. And that's where the Runecasters are going to absolutely excel. Everything from Team Underdogs is starting to drop down. Eon Blue, can he survive the Ranger hits? He might not, actually. You see Udwin is super low. He's going to go for it. He just goes down. Eon Blue escapes. Eon Blue left alive. Holy Hit coming online once again at the end of that now. The problem is, with not much left to defend for a while, we will see a push of Minotaur skeletons towards this topside base, and Udwin has a watchtower there to help him defend. But that's about it. Deathmick is about to mine out. He only has 700 resources left. Holy Hit has a lot more resources on this side. Stopped from mining again. Here's a counterattack from Deathmick coming in. This is great until these units get committed to the point where they can't do anything else. And if they go down without cleaning up anything else right now, that becomes very painful very quickly. That becomes a real problem, actually, as we do see the single white here going to fall. There's just no way out. You're slowed by a Runecaster. Right now, if you get slowed by a Runecaster, you kind of just have to accept, yeah, I am dead. Good defense. Again, Watchtower with the defense mode on the keep means that these Minotaur skeletons will be pushed back with the help of some units coming into the front there to tank. And again, those heroes will be coming back online here soon. You can see Deathmick coming up. Udwin should not be far off. He did just die a little bit later. Our levels actually, I haven't talked about them in a while, but getting kind of close as well. You can see Deathmick caught in a fiery change. Is there much of a follow-up there? It's kind of a crazy fight. Deathmick is perhaps going to start getting nuked by these runecasters if he's not careful. They're picking off so many of the whites, though, that, you know, Berlin Esports getting so many kills. Holy Hit hits level 7, so it's level 7 apiece now. Youngblee must be real close to level 8, like a couple kills away. He's 52 experience. That's obviously pretty big in all of this as well, as we're going to be seeing Knights trying to turn a fight. The Minotaur Skeletons really just win out against Knights, though, I think. They're just a little bit more powerful, although not as fast. Deathmick going to get caught in a fiery change. That gives the Minotaur Skeletons the chance to surround. There's a great timing on the fear there. Really waited for the last moment. Holy Hit is sitting in a horrid decay. He's going to die to the Ranger. It would seem if there's a dash available. He's actually going to turn for the fear, but he misses it. Suddenly, Udwin is breaking away here with these Knights. That's going to be Eon Blue getting picked off, so he will fall to the Hunter's mark. It's those Minotaur Skeletons that are working out more than anything at the moment. The Knights really will not win this fight. They are outnumbered. They are outmatched. Knights again surrounded by the Minotaur Skeletons, doing a very good job here. A couple of shots going off from the Runecasters, but they're being chased by Udwin as well. I mean, picking off these, it's kind of huge as well. Underdogs, really, I'm actually impressed by Underdog's ability to stay in this, as Holy Hit makes the dive for Udwin. He gets it. Wow, the 31 health Wraith staying alive there. Might want to try and go heal, but is that too predictable? Do you get picked off then? I don't actually know. Man, I actually really felt Underdogs were dead early. After the kind of little bit of an initial turnaround from Berlin Esports, but they are making a huge match out of this. Like I said, I kind of didn't feel like this was quite going to happen like this at all, but I love these counterattacks. You can see the effect it's had. This base, 1,000 resources left. They've already mined out, but that's an issue, remember, as well, because actually, how many resources are left? 1,000 in Orium and 2,000, so 3,000 total against 4,000 total. So overall, at the moment, it's equal supplies with more resources left from Udwin and Deathmick. And if they can make the most of that, and if they can still keep on mining better, that's great. And right now, they're going to stop mining altogether on this base. The workers have to go running. Deathmick's going to go down, though, so it costs him a hero. And again, that's more experience for Eon Blue and Holy Hit. Eon Blue hits level 8, powering up. I mean, some of these abilities on the Spark Mage get so powerful when you level them up a little bit. The difference of the Fireball damage is really ridiculous. When you start dropping like level 3 Fireball, it's like, wow, it nukes things down. Fiery Chains traps you for so long. The Elemental is one of the things I never really noticed leveling up. I usually just leave it at level 1 myself. But, yeah, in general, that Spark Mage is coming online right now. Level 8. The thing is, so is the Ranger, and the Ranger is just so good at nuking the heroes here. You take the heroes out of the fight, that's obviously huge. Runecasters want to be careful. That's a big fireball. Like I said, I mean, Knights have a lot of health, and that fireball just hits them for, like, over 10%, like 20% of their health right there. Single Minotaur Skeleton will want to be careful here, as Eon Blue does get back to mining this top base. Again, this has been a good defense from Deathmick and Udwin up on the top right. They've been able to keep that base online throughout this now, as we are going to see Udwin. Oh no! So what's happened here? He's completely slowed. He can't actually move at the moment because of all the Runecasters. And the Runecasters are going to get to nuking. He just comes out of it there, and he's going to turn around. He is going to get the shots off, and Eon Blue is going to escape away, though. Udwin is super close to going down. He's slowed. He will fall. And that is Udwin taken down as he hits level 9. Again, just losing that hero gives the opportunity to trade a little bit better here for Berlin Esports. Does feel they've taken the worst end of a couple trades the last couple moments. Now we're going to be seeing the extra couple of Knights will drop down. A Pyre on the bottom side, still firing away. You can see a Horrid Decay dropping there. Eon Blue is feared back through it. He's just going to sit in it for a moment. He's super low HP, gets hit down. Deathmick with the return kill. We are absolutely seeing a bloodbath here, as Holy Hit is trying to block, trying to get some shots off. There's not really much chase potential on the Wraith, though. I feel if anything, Holy Hit should be turned away quite easily. Deathmick will have a fear. He can put down his own Horrid Decay to force Holy Hit away in certain positions. Actually turns for the fight because he has more health, so Holy Hit has to be careful there. Cleric coming in, might not have the heal available. That is going to be a massive Horrid Decay, and that is going to be Holy Hit going down. Deathmick falls really low on HP. I tell you what, there was a lot of AoE in that as well. The Knights are still trying to chase those Runecasters. If they get on top of the Runecasters, they do very well. It's when the Runecasters are able to be free to just kite and kite and kite. On the other side, we have a massive workers long distance mining this base. Mine it out as fast as possible, get as much up as you can. As these guys continue to trade out, we might be heading into a very, very late game here because we're about to be mined out, and as units continue to drop down, it can become a bit of a hero wall. So we'll see what comes of it. Right now, lower on supply is Berlin Esports, 52 to 63. They have 920 resources left on the map against the 2,220. So they're down in supply, less resources remain. I think underdogs have just made this work overall. I honestly don't know where Berlin Esports really fell apart. Did they lose their heroes one too many times in these fights? Was the Ranger really doing that much throughout all of this? It's really hard to tell because it's been a real scrap. Maybe those runecasters, you know what I think it really is? The runecast account keeps getting absolutely destroyed. You know, how many times have we seen like 8 runecasters up, and yet here we are with 1 yet again? That number's been reset maybe one too many times, and maybe that's where the efficiency just hasn't been. And because of that, those, you know, melee units, yeah, it's problematic when they're kept at range from a lot of them, but if they end up getting the kills, it's expensive. I think that might be it. As Neon Blue, a few clerics mixed in here as well. The Minotaur skeleton count just isn't what it used to be at all, as Holy Hit has a bit of a sad face. Oh, he's got a Minotaur stuck. Close beta, guys. Unfortunately, those things do happen. It's unfortunate it happens to a skeleton because, or Minotaur skeleton, they're quite expensive. At the end of the day, I don't think that one unit is going to make much of the difference all said and done here. I do kind of prefer Underdog's position. Again, they should be able to build a lot more in the coming future. You can see Deathmick is ready to hit this base again, by the way. As you mine out, these workers probably will be pulled in from Eon Blue to the fights just to try and tank a little bit. Problem is, these units are all such low HP. 400, 300 against the, you know, very tanky units. The problem is, it means the AoE takes those down very easily. You know, even these lesser melee units here have 700 health, and as it comes down to a hero war, it really comes down to, can these units survive? And so far we've seen the answer to that is no, these units cannot survive. And as long as these units can't survive, that's where the problem kind of comes into play. If you get a huge horror DK off, if they go down, suddenly you've got like a few Minotaur skeletons against, you know, it's melee on melee, and you've got less numbers. Let's see what happens. Coming into a fight sometime soon, we have to be. Resources really banked. Oh, look at Udwin. He actually has 1,500 Enorium. That's interesting. So what he's doing is he's actually not building more to stay away from upkeep, I'd imagine. And he's just keeping those resources, saying we already have more, so let's take a fight. Then I'll be able to rebuild very quickly from there and go for a secondary fight. There's that first Horror Decay. Does get some damage done. Cleric going low. The Minotaur skeletons get feared. Knights, a few of them from Udwin up on the top side, joining Deathmick there. The Whites are on the bottom side. They're thinking about whether they want to go in or not. Oh, that's just Eon Blue dead. Again, the Hunter. The dash is such a great ability, because not only does it get you out of tricky scenarios like we saw much early on, it gets you into really good positions, and boom, Eon Blue's just a bit too far forwards, and that's problematic. Now Holy Hit is starting to lose his Labyrinth. I don't think that's actually a problem. He has no mining anyways. Problem is those Whites don't want to dive in for the base. It's just too far in. There's going to be skeletons summoned, so it's better just keep them alive, pull them back. They have this Pyre here to actually help fight as well if needed. I kind of feel like now is somewhat the time to go if they can get... I would have kind of liked the Whites, instead of going back through the bottom, instead just come up here and just get a fight on this base. You can see that these units are here, right? So if Deathmick, you know, can bring those Whites in from the bottom side and the Knights come in from the top, that obviously can start to work very, very well. You can see the Ranger is going to come in for the mark. The explosive shot as well knocks some of them back. Oh, that Monster's Bane is brutal. I've never seen it used aggressively like that. As we see the Runecasters going down, and this is the problem. If you lose these units, it just comes down to melee on melee, where you have less melee. So Berlin Esports really start to fall in trouble in that regard. That's going to be the Horror Decays on both sides. I love the Horror Decay here on the bottom side, though. Holy Hits Minotaurs are going to take so much damage. I feel like the one on the top was mostly only hitting Udwin, who will fall in this fight. Neon Blue with a couple of Runecasters left over. The one Cleric left in there as well. The Knights are going to go diving in for Holy Hit. I'm not sure how much I like an attempt to chase the heroes here. I feel like trading out units on units is going to be a lot more successful in the long run. Those Knights are going to keep on going. They really want to get rid of Holy Hit, don't they? I mean, they will be successful in doing so. If they can kill Holy Hit and get out alive, brilliant. I mean, one went down. I think that's worth it for one Knight in the end. I was just worried all of those Knights go down, and obviously that becomes a much bigger issue. Out in the center, Eon Blue with a couple of Runecasters. The Cleric as well in the center. And we'll be seeing Deathmick is coming forwards as well from the top side, seeing where he can get to. Now we have the whites back on the bottom as well, right? They just show up all of the time when it's kind of the worst case, worst possible timing. Just pulls them back when they get in trouble as well. It's keeping units down there. It's not letting them be aggressive elsewhere. This base is getting close to mining out, but again, let's look at that resources tab. You can just see there was a lot of money from Udwin. There still is as he sits on 30 supplies, so that's where he wants to sit. He doesn't want to go higher because of the upkeep mechanic that will slow production. You know what as well, it might be also in a weird way, it's if you have too many units, they become too clumped up, and then you kind of lose a lot in the fight, to AoE. He might just want to minimize the potential of AoE on this, which kind of sounds stupid. Surely, usually more is better. Once he's mined out, especially, upkeep's not a thing anymore, but actually, what if the AoE is just like too much, and in this way he kind of has two armies that are just as effective because they don't go down as fast. He's going to get caught there, but at least he gets a Horror Decay off, more damage done. Hey, that's a fear. That is, oh my, what? What? I don't even have words, guys. That was, I didn't think that Eon Blue was going down there. I was absolutely convinced that Deathmich was dead. Wow. He feared the Knights, he feared the Minotaurs away. He hit a great Horror Decay and it just did so much damage. Wow. This is problematic because that army of Eon Blue we were talking so much about before is now gone. It's non-existent. Deathmich will get to heal up. Still has the whites on the bottom. The problem is the Minotaur Skeletons have to commit to the top to do something here overall. A couple of Runecasters on the bottom is all that really stands in terms of defense. Another Minotaur Skeleton coming in. If you lose bases, if there's no base up, you can't respawn your heroes. So it's kind of the win condition. You get the main bases, and once the bases are down, heroes can't respawn. So in a hero versus hero war, you will lose out. 79 supply to 45. Berlin Esports trailing heavily here in game number 2 of our grand final best of 5 series. See Udwin going to come in, has a lot of knights on the top. Both heroes from Underdogs coming in from the top as well, looking to see what they can make happen. Holy Hit is starting to run back down the left-hand side, getting away there. Eon Blue coming in as well. Both their heroes, I mean, there's no real reason to defend this base necessarily, like if they don't feel like they can. I mean, that Horror Decay will stop them from doing that because it's mined out. There's nothing more to be gained other than, lumber, and lumber is not going to do much more in this. It does mean that if Berlin Esports lose this keep, though, Eon Blue can't respawn, and then you lose a hero in these fights. That's going to be a dash away from Udwin. Not sure if I like that. I feel like he could have dashed for something a little bit better. He's going to put the Hunter's Mark down. Here we go. Eon Blue is going to get nuked again. It's super close. He's just going to survive. Great save by Holy Hit. That fear coming in is able to keep this going throughout this now, as we see another Horror Decay. Doesn't really connect this time from Deathmich. He hits level 10, by the way. Udwin is about to be level 10 with one more kill. 1 XP out, and there it is. Level 10. Fully maxed heroes here. And it's level 10 apiece against level 9 and 8, and that's kind of making the difference in these fights. Eon Blue over a minute on the respawn. And how many Minotaur Skeletons do we really have left? Not a lot. As we're going to be seeing, that's a nice Horror Decay. That's a nice fear into the Horror Decay. He turns it. The Ranger is so good. He turns and nukes Holy Hit from pretty much full HP. And that is going to be sad face from Holy Hit. He knows the issue. He knows that that was a heck of a nuke. And well, these whites have been constantly pressuring the bottom side, and now they are starting to get some kills. The Minotaur Skeletons alone should not be able to do this, and again, I mean, yeah, okay, these building structures maybe not the most important, but it clears the way to the Mausoleum, and it is setting up for the kills in the later game. Eon Blue has a Runecaster left over. There's 4 Minotaur Skeletons, and while it's a slow death, it is absolutely a death. There's Deathmich, and our boy Udwin, that Ranger, who is just killing everybody at every point. It's kind of crazy, honestly, how much he's getting done with that. They have zombies they can bring into the fight as well. You underestimate how much zombies do, actually, because the workers typically, obviously, you don't expect them to be the kind of thing that will work super well or to kind of do a lot. But the reality is they can change a fight, They can mess up AI, they can block. Man, there's so many knights down here as well. Eon Blue is just going to get dove on. He has no real support. There's a few skeletons here and there, sure, but well, it's just problematic. I mean, there's one Minotaur Skeleton isn't going to save the day. These are completely out of position as well. Berlin Esports, they had such a good start to this game. The first couple minutes were kind of rough, the first attempt to creep, but they took some really good fights. They took that, they stopped this expansion for so long. The problem came when they allowed that expansion to come up. When that expansion came into play, this game changed entirely. The zombies are just going to go and try and kill a base. Hey, you know what? It's going to be a distraction. I mean, not sure I kind of would like them to come in with, you know, another army as well. I do feel like there's... Actually, maybe there's not value to play. You know why? Because the zombies are obviously melee, right? And obviously if the zombies are melee, then the... You know, it blocks the melee-based composition we're seeing from underdogs, which is obviously a problem. It's on the top side. Udwin healing on up. Deathmick healing up as well. I love what they've done here as well, by the way. They're not afraid to send different, you know, we're not seeing just one player and his army wander around. It's, you know, different armies, different heroes on each side of the map. You know, these are Udwin's units supporting Deathmick up here. Deathmick has his army down here, the counter-attacking army that he's been really focused on setting up. There's a few knights down here as well. It's this split of army that's been very difficult for Berlin Esports to deal with at any stage. 34 minutes in game number 2 here on Echo Glades, as we are going to be seeing Neon Blue, Holy Hit, hanging out down the bottom left-hand side. We have got Deathmick. Runs into a Runecaster trap moving forwards here. That's going to be the Horror Decay to pick away at those workers that are trying to block the entry from the top side. Those Knights from Udwin still hanging out as well on the top. I want to bring those in as it looks as though Udwin is going to make a play towards this bottom side Mausoleum. There's a Mausoleum here as well, so it's not, you know, kill this Mausoleum and the game ends. Kind of feels like they can... There's a few Minotaur skeletons up. A fight is somewhat scary. Do you have any resources left as well? Not really, so we're mined out. So that's why this situation is so tense. There is no extra units to be made here. This is it. Oh my god, 4 more Knights just show up. Were they the Knights from the top? I think they were, actually. Which doesn't make it as scary. We kind of already knew those were up. Deathmick is going to get caught. That fiery chains last forever here when it's level 3. Neon Blue will get feared away. This is going to be the chance for Udwin to go diving in again. I mean, I think, yeah, diving on the Mausoleum is the play, right? Because if you pick off these bases, you stop the respawns, and that's obviously going to be critical. And this could force the fight. The Whites are ready to go as well. Again, if you get rid of this Mausoleum and you kill Holy Hit, they are down a hero for the entire game. Ember Storm will drop down, but it's just not going to do that much. As we do see Neon Blue is going to keep on trying to come into this. Hits a fiery change the fear as well. That's a bit of miscommunication. Didn't need both of those crowd controls at the same time at all. Gets the last Runecaster of the game. A fear and the Pallid Garden Horror Decay. That is Holy Hit going down again. And I mean, at the same time, we have Udwin still kiting out to the side. Deathmick is here. Neon Blue can't get close because this Ranger is just going to nuke him down in a second if he tries to. Holy Hit has 1 Mausoleum left on the right-hand side, and if Holy Hit loses that Mausoleum, he is in trouble. That is the only place he can respawn from right now. If they get that in the next 50 seconds, this game ends here and now as we do see the attempt to make something happen. Neon Blue trying to hold on, but again, they just don't have the unit support that is needed to make this work out. And here we go, the Knights pressing forwards. They know, I feel like they should know the play is that, but actually, they might just play it slow. Because if they can get these Knights out, heal up, and come in again, it's just that little bit safer. And you know, safety, you know, why not play safe, right? If you can get away with it, again, that Ranger does so much damage here. That's the Horror Decay. That might be a dead Minotaur. It is. I mean, every unit counts right now. Losing that is painful. So yeah, they're going to disengage completely. Holy Hit will be able to respawn from this 1 Mausoleum. He has left standing, but they are absolutely dying off in this here. As we're going to see the Knights coming in on the top side. And I mean, again, like, they're just actually getting nuked, these Minotaur skeletons. There's not enough of them to put up a fight anymore. You know, that Spark Mage isn't really supporting at the same time. Holy Hit comes out, he's going to drop the ultimate, but it's actually not going to hit anything. The Ranger dodges well, and he wins the fight. GG, says Holy Hit on Neon Blue. They know they've been outplayed here. What a series this has been for underdogs. They are killing it right now. Absolutely performing. Up 2-0, 1 map from being your Undead Champs champions. I mean, they played a heck of a game. And I don't think I can say that enough because they truly put themselves in a position where they were a bit behind. Berlin Esports got into a good spot. That base was being denied. And underdogs found a way to play around that. And finding the way to play around that was so crucial because without that base, obviously, it becomes very weird. It becomes very funky. It becomes a problem. But, of course, there was no problem for them in the end. That Ranger was so valuable. There were so many times that Ranger was super low HP, and he turns on like a full health Wraith or a full health Spark Mage, and just like one-shots. And it was like, what? Is that allowed? Like, that's the power of the Ranger. That is the power of the Ranger. And especially on this small map where we can get this, you know, on this small map where they can get that creeping advantage earlier as well. As we get ready to go into game number 3 of our grand finals. Just going to check which map we want to play here, if we want to stay on this map. See what the players, if they have any preference. If both the teams agree, I guess we will go on to a certain map. If they don't, we shall see. Usually we start on Echo Glades. So we didn't start on Echo Glades this time, and because of that, I'm a little bit, I'm just double checking what we should maybe do. So we'll see what these guys want to say as they have a little bit of a discussion right now. Getting ready for this game number 3. This is the Undead Champs, a year of rain. We've had this tournament going on for the last 6-7 weeks, a match every week, and yeah, it looks as though I love underdogs. They're just like, you know what, we'll play whichever map. So yeah, they don't seem to mind. Well, we're going to play Echo Glades again. If our players are ready, we will kick off into game number 3. Eon Blue, Holy Hit, readying up. As what are we going to see from Deathmake and Udwin this time around? Looks like they're currently set as Undeads, Wraiths. Maybe back to their strategy they used in game number 1. Right, well, they're ready. So we are about to find out. This could be our last game of the Undead Champs here for Year of Rain. Let's find out as we get into play on Echo Glades once again. Repeating our map, guys. Usually, again, we start map 1 with Echo Glades. That's kind of what's happened there, that's all. Okay, let's see what happens. In the bottom left side, we're going to see a reverse of map sides here. Deathmake and Udwin are going to play double Undead, double Tank. You know, I kind of love to see their strategy from game 1 on this map because it kind of feels like it would be very successful. If they get that unit advantage early, they can push the base so early on. Holy Hit and Eon Blue play in the bottom right-hand side of Echo Glades here. Our third and potentially final game. Let's rally a little bit, everybody, for Berlin Esports. If they don't win this, this is the end. The trophy will go to Underdogs. Like I said, Underdogs, they definitely didn't feel like the Underdogs coming into this finals. They definitely didn't feel like the Underdogs in any of their matches so far. They played 2-0 against Berlin Esports earlier in the season. And here we are now, game number 3, grand finals. Underdogs absolutely came through as the team, I think, who have practiced the most, showed us the most. So far, I feel deserving winners, but Berlin Esports really have a tendency to stay in the game. They really have a tendency to make things work out and to be able to make something happen when you don't expect it to. No Ranger this time, so that's going to be a big difference. In the hero versus hero fights, there's going to be a lot less power coming in from Underdogs, but Eon Blue and Holy Hit, they have the same setup. They are going to be up against double AoE. The double AoE is going to come down the bottom here to start. So they are looking to come down the bottom, push across right now. We'll see what happens with these creeps. You can see that Holy Hit's already in position to push the bridge. With double AoE early, I think there should be bridge control for Udwin and Deathmake. What they're going to do, they're going to send their whites in. We have a Spearman here from Eon Blue. Holy Hit's gone straight to Arcane Nexus. No unit early in the game. We might have just a straight up no trade out or no aggression on this bottom side. What this can turn out to be is a rush up to the healing well, because this is going to be the first creep pack that's easy to kill that isn't duplicated on the map. So if you can rush up there, that becomes very good. We will see an attempt to steal. I believe that was a steal, actually. Going to push this away. They don't want to lose their Spearman because that would be early experience going the other way too. And that's going to be the Spearman going down as well. And once more, it feels like Underdogs just have this early game so well figured out. They're going to pop the ability, and wow. 88 XP against 22. That is a huge outplay from Underdogs. And you know what? They're just pushing forwards. Double desecrated battlegrounds. They are just going to go. Well, there's only one up here. The Fire Elemental is harassing the mineral line of Deathmake. But like I said, they're just going for their skeletons are going to be summoned defensively. Eon Blue already lost one Spearman in the earlier fight as Deathmake and Udwin make a play. Holy Hit's going to sit in the Horror Decay, take some damage. Pushing forwards here. Holy Hit has one Flame Skull out, which will put some damage into play here. What's going to be scary is if Deathmake and Udwin take up to level 2 already, and they can do that with just a couple of kills. And there goes Holy Hit down. They are, oh my god, they are like 1 experience away from level 2, so they're going to ding up to level 2, and Eon Blue and Holy Hit aren't even close to it. Their worker line, Holy Hit is losing so many of his workers. This is devastating early in the game, because if he doesn't have the resources, he might not ever be able to rebuild workers here. So Deathmake and Udwin are doing crazy damage. Holy Hit respawns so fast because it is so early in the game. He's getting a little bit caught up as his zombies continue to drop on down here. Holy Hit has been absolutely shut down in the early stages now. Spearmen are trying to fight back as Deathmake will try and make a way out through the top side. Udwin and Holy Hit trying to find it out a little bit as well. Another flame skull picked up. We're level 3 against level 1. We have 5 supply from Holy Hit. There is still a Conjured Elemental though over here that's not been responded to. It's slow at dealing damage, but eventually those Deathmake workers will start to drop. But they are getting that extra mining already, and that's obviously crucial here, as Holy Hit and Eon Blue have fallen into some very, very early game troubles. Now Holy Hit can summon skeletons, so he will keep some mining going. The problem is now he's not able to use those skeletons on lumber mining. And without lumber mining effectively coming out for an undead player, you're really limited in how much you can end up building here. Eon Blue gets a few more shots. They will finally clean out a white. Now coming down this bottom side, there's another Horror Decay. They are still 60 experience off from level 2. This Desecrated Battleground, if that goes down, is obviously huge as well. They're diving for it, and I think for very good reason, because if they can get that kill, shuts down a lot of the production. More whites showing up as well. A couple clerics now in play should help out. But Holy Hit, the problem is they have to try and defend this. Now you have to use the skeletons, so you can't use zombies, so Holy Hit will have no mining. Horror Decay to zone on the top side, and Udwin and Deathmake are still fighting. Deathmake's taking a lot of damage. He looks like he will go down in this. Oh, he's still just alive. There's nothing to deal damage on the bottom. Eon Blue's obviously going to go hunting. Even if he can survive to get one more cast off, that would be huge. No way is he going to get away. Desecrated Battleground falls. I mean, Holy Hit couldn't really build much more anyways. There's still so many whites here from Udwin as he continues to press up. Targeting down clerics, I love that as well, because they're going to be units that are expensive to replace at this stage. Eon Blue and Holy Hit will make a defense, if you can call it that. Now, Holy Hit has 2 bases, but here's the issue. Look at that resources. He doesn't have enough to really build a lot of zombies, so his economy is super low, lower than where you start the game at. And that should tumble and cascade into a real disadvantage. Yes, he might be able to build up a little bit right now, but again, he's mining so slowly that building 2 workers at a time, that itself is a challenge. Deathmake will set up a mausoleum, and while this base was faster, the damage taken here is very, very difficult to recover from. We're going to see the game going back towards a creeping stage now. The gnolls on the right side and the left will be engaged shortly, and then we might have a race up to the healing well, which theoretically should go the way of Udwin and Deathmake. Okay, they're even going to really kind of vie for that right away. They're going to skip these creeps. These are very safe creeps. It's very difficult to take those down, because to get those, you have to engage these creeps here and push through the bottom and then push up to steal them, or come around the top. And those are both very risky, if not impossible moves. And yeah, look at that. We're going to see just a split creeping here as well. No fear at all as these whites go in to fight these gnolls, and this pack is that little bit easier. There's no pack leader here like there is on these top left and top right packs. And there is going to be the healing from Deathmake there. You can heal while in this fight against this pack as well, which is obviously huge. And we are going to see Udwin ticking up to level 4 against level 2. Again, level advantage is not decided these games directly yet, but there's more than level advantage in play this time around. Eon Blue is going to come up for a fight. Actually, Deathmake is kind of in some trouble. He's sitting on the healing well, which means he will have healing throughout this. These clerics should do pretty well against these whites. You can see that the whites just don't get bonus damage against magic users, so it's really going to come down to the heroes, as we are going to see Deathmake has defensive units over here, so Holy Hit's counterattack shouldn't do anything at all. I like the change from Holy Hit actually just from Eon Blue just massing clerics this game, rather than in previous games he went into a handful of clerics and a handful of runecasters, because the clerics will deal more damage here. I'm not convinced about this idea to fight this creep count. It feels dangerous with Eon Blue so nearby, but looks like Eon Blue will stop contesting, and Deathmake and Udwin will continue to fight. Remember, the healing well's just there. They can go back and heal just like that, and I mean, it's more and more experience, so it's just pouring into their hands. You'll see again, Udwin, a lot of money in the bank, just saying, cool, well, I'm at a level where, you know, I've got a lot of resources available, and I'm on, you know, I don't want to hit upkeep. I'm just going to keep mining out, you know, nice and quick, and then we can trade, build units again, trade and build units again. Eon Blue, these clerics looking to see what they will do shortly. He's also stacking up, so again, it seems like stacking resources to play around the upkeep mechanic is the way that these guys have decided is the best way to approach this. And that's what we're seeing here at the moment. Still some clerics from Eon Blue pressing around. What's that going to be? The temple dropping in. So he's already, that's just his second production structure. He's gone into the library, which will open up access to the rune castle. So maybe he still wants to get there. He's just slowed down based on what happened early. Holy Hit supply is catching back up. But remember, he doesn't have a massive bank in play like the other guys do in this. So it's worth keeping in mind in this, as we do see Deathmake just finishing off this pack on the left. And that's something else they have in favor. Udwin is actually coming in big. Big horror decay, as those clerics are going to take a lot of damage. And this is, I mean, it is a lot of clerics though, and I don't think the whites alone can really fight that. Do we have any sort of attack up coming in on the other side of the map, or are we still just sat on double desecrated battlegrounds? Yeah, it's just mass white still at this stage. I would like to see some movement up towards like Minotaur skeletons at least, because it feels as though they're in a position where teching up can absolutely work out for them. It doesn't feel like they have to sit on these whites, so would love to see that here, as we have a couple of whites going up to the top, healing up a little bit. Udwin going to try and come up to heal here as well. Still some clerics, our Spark Mage hanging out. Holy Hit coming around the right-hand side. Mausoleum setting up. Going to fight and clean up some creeps on the top. Again, just getting a big XP advantage, right? I mean, level 6 is the real kind of, you know, magic number, because suddenly you get your ultimate up. We've seen before how big those Horror Decay ultimates can be, and if you're going to be level 6 against level 2 here, that is truly quite ridiculous. So, well, how far are we off level 6? 33 experience. I think they just fight this top left pack. Fight that top left pack, I mean, that's pretty much all you need. Faster expansion here from Udwin as well. The top side base obviously not cleaned out at all for Eon Blue or Holy Hit, so they can't mine from that. Again, Holy Hit has come back online. He's gotten back up, but like we've been talking about, there's a huge bank in play for underdogs, and if they have that huge bank, they can build very easily now. Let's see what happens. Udwin coming in from the top side. Deathmaker is just going to clean up the Conjured Elemental here, which is just going to get resummoned on the other side of the map, so Heartcut dies off. It already did its job. It, you know, proved itself a threat to be reckoned with, or to be dealt with. The initial Horror Decay. Again, they're not quite level 6 yet. This is actually not a good time to fight, actually, because Young Blue and, you know, Holy Hit are trying to take this expansion. So if they have to fight the army at the same time, that's problematic. Now we have whites that are maybe going to push down the bottom side as well. And it's going to be that kind of split push we've seen work out so well up until now. Flame Skulls continuing out for the moment here. Interesting, Holy Hit is playing that tanky damage rather than playing the... yeah, he's playing that tanky damage rather than the damage dealer, yet still going Flame Skulls. They're both playing tanks, not really getting anything for it. Maybe their plan has just changed based on what they've seen in the game. I'd imagine that has to be the case, because otherwise it doesn't really make too much sense. Deathmake is now going to start sending those whites down to the bottom right-hand side. So they're going to be coming across here, getting that ready to go. Deathmake in the center, one Observatory on their side. 8 experience from level 6, guys. If they get like a Flame Skull kill and hit level 6, this game is going to change quite drastically, I think, because as soon as we see that empowered Horror Decay come up, it's going to hurt. Hungering Flames activated on the Flame Skulls. That means they take more damage, but they deal more damage. A couple of Runecasters getting feared in here. That is where these whites are going to excel, dealing damage to the Runecasters. They get bonus damage onto that armor type. Clerics still dealing bonus damage to the whites as well, but is it enough? There's another Horror Decay. 2 clerics go down with this. We are level 6 now. Ultimates are available. Again, still level 2. Maybe about to be level 3, but I mean, I'm not quite convinced just yet. There is level 3 dropping down, but there's a big Horror Decay, and workers are dropping. It is truly a massacre here. 94 supply to 49. Underdogs are just stronger players at this stage. I think it's fair to say and safe to say they have a very good idea of what they want to achieve in these games. They bully their way into good positions, and they keep themselves in good positions. And they're just making Holy Hit and Eon Blue look somewhat helpless in these scenarios, because they just constantly find themselves in scenarios where they just can't get out of, you know. They're built into weak positions, and yeah, I mean, it's that Horror Decay fear combo. They're so good at setting those up. As Eon Blue has clerics stuck in the top side, they cannot make their way out. And as those go down, the supplies are dropping. And it's GG, well played. They tap out to give underdogs the Undead Champs Championship. Just like that, Eon Blue and Holy Hit, they really struggled here. As Deathmake, Udwin, I have to say it again, guys, they truly felt like the stronger players throughout the tournament, throughout this finals, I feel like match in and match out, they were the players to beat. They looked strong. They looked good. They, again, just repeatedly put themselves into amazing positions. Now and then there were some good plays from Berlin Esports to get themselves back in the game, to put themselves in a position again where they could fight it. But truly, truly here, underdogs were the stronger team throughout. As we will have both teams going to join us on the couch to receive their prizes, and also to talk to us a little bit about those games. Of course, a year of rain, guys, now in closed beta. We're seeing some great games out of it. It's been a lot of fun. As here are our runners-up for the Undead Champs, Berlin Esports. Welcome, guys. What is up? As we get you ready to go here.
Well, not a lot. We're not too happy with how it went. Especially the second map. I wrote it as well in the chat.
Yeah.
It's just his Minotaurs got stuck really hard,
Yeah.
and my ultimate was bugged because it just didn't have cooldown. And well,
And the problem is, like, the only reason why you would use that hero is for the ultimate. Like, the
Yeah.
ultimate is so super strong,
yeah.
and then the ultimate bugging out is like, okay.
Yeah.
But
That's pretty
like,
brutal.
Let's not get too deep into the whining, because on the other hand, those two guys, they played really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
They had some different strategies, and they really showed us. I think we, with a little bit better preparation, we could have had it. I feel like all three maps were really close, and that's at least exciting. Too bad we couldn't show more maps, but in general, it's just really we had three really good and close maps, I feel like.
So I just want to ask very quickly, you played double tank a couple of times, but for example, in the last game, you didn't really use many like tanky units or anything that really benefited from that. Is that just a response to what you guys were seeing?
Well, we kind of just said he's going for the tanky unit, and he lost all his eco. We were kind of surprised.
Yeah.
We didn't have a good game plan for what happened in the last game. We got rushed really hard, so that's just kind of what happened. It's not too big of a deal in that case. We just kind of were surprised because we were so deep into our. Well, we have to go for late game and all that kind of stuff, and we can take them in the late game. That the rush, even though we both feel like it's not a good way to, or it's not very likely to work. In this case, it worked because it just caught us both really off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, guys. I'm not going to keep you here too long. I don't.
It's fine. Like it really was a fun tournament,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
after all, also with some of the issues, it is not a finished game, and it is a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. But we had some issues with lobbies and all that also when we were
Yeah.
home. So that's just kind of dampens it a little bit.
Sure.
But still, like from a competitive standpoint, and from the fact that it is not released yet, it's been a great deal of fun. We're very, very happy that we were allowed to play, and we had a great time with the game.
Awesome. Well, we've got some medals for you guys. Second place runners up. Do you want me to put them over your head like true? Here you go.
Yeah.
No, here you go. Yeah,
Thank
there
you
you
very
go.
much.
Beautiful. Nailed it.
Yeah, perfect.
You would think
perfect.
I've given out medals before. There we go.
You should do
Thank
that
you,
at the
thank you.
Olympic Games, I think.
You should?
Yeah,
You think?
why not?
I'll apply. You also get some. That's a monster of a mouse
That's
mat.
really nice.
It is, isn't it? It's a I've never seen a mouse mat come in such a large box.
Oh
actually,
man, have you seen my mouse mat I'm
Oh.
using right now?
it
That thing is massive.
is. It is massive.
is
Did it come in a box like this?
It's something like that. It's similarly large. It's great. I
Well,
love
there you
it.
go. You don't get to keep both. Give Holy hit one as well.
No,
he
I
played
wanted
his
to do
part.
Did he really? Did he?
Wow.
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 No,
Okay,
no.
guys,
Yeah, it's been great.
get out of here.
Okay.
Get out of here. We've
Thanks
got to
for
talk to the
casting,
winners.
Wardy.
No worries. Thanks for joining
And
us. Enjoy your
have a
mouse
nice-
mats. If you
Thanks.
can, you're gonna get some muscles built taking those home.
I'm sure.
All right, guys, we're going to have our winners joining us here in a moment or two, and they are going to pick up our beautiful trophy. You know what? We're going to hand the trophy to them. It's actually really beautiful. There you go. Have a look, guys. This is what they're going to come and claim here in a second. Our winners of the Undead Champs here from A Year of Rain. They're walking over right now. It is Team Underdogs. They picked a team name that suggested they weren't going to win. Maybe it was part of the strategy. We're about to find out they're going to join us I just shuffled over this way. They're going to come in from the left anyways. And here they are, our champions. Good job, guys. Here. I saw you guys looking at this trophy earlier. Now you can hold it. Awesome. So, you guys, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
It looked pretty convincing from mostly start to finish. Did it feel like that? Did you feel in control all the time?
In control, I don't think. Never.
Never.
It's a struggle. It's a constant struggle.
Our playstyle is highly aggressive,
Yeah.
but that's because of the new Roomcaster tactics.
Yes.
We thought that this will happen, and all we did was in our fear of the Roomcasters. And
Sorry.
we struggled all the time with this unit and their abilities, which you saw it
Yeah.
yourself.
It's pretty crazy.
The very crazy slow.
Yes.
Well, we saw the Runecasters and thought, well, this will be an evening for today.
That's the problem. If you let the Runecaster wave build up, it can't be stopped. They just slow you for 30 seconds and it stacks and you stand still, you're done. And they can spam it, they can instantly lay it anywhere. I think it's pretty broken, so you really have to be aggressive to get ahead of that and not let that wave build.
Yeah.
If the wave builds, it crashes you.
So you guys went double tank every game. Is this just what you find is like strongest? Or does that just play into your aggressive strategy?
It's not really strong in general. That's our anti-Runecaster build.
Right, okay.
But the last week we went it a lot and we thought, what can we do against this new tactic? We didn't know that Berlin Esports will do this.
Yeah.
We were prepared to this. It was shot in the blue.
Yeah. It definitely feels like you guys were preparing a lot. I know when I saw you guys on Discord, you guys were always looking for matches and always playing. I mean, you guys really looked like the better team from the start to finish, and that what I feel so impressive about that. And when I say start to finish, I mean from like the start of the tournament even. You guys were just knocking it out of the park. What's so impressive is that the game has changed so much since we had our first week of matches. I just want to ask, how are you guys finding like the development of the game in terms of just how games are developing? Is it a lot more fun now? Are you finding there's a lot more strategies? How often are you kind of changing your own play up when you're kind of playing the games?
Yes, it's nice to see that it really evolves. It was kind of set in its tracks for the first 2 weeks, but all it takes is one person to find something new that works, and it changes up the whole meta. You really have to arrange, how does this tactic now work? What are my chances? What are the chances someone plays something that counters this? And there will probably be new stuff found, and we have a third faction on the way. Who knows what they will bring?
That's funny. We discovered all the things around the Runecasters last week, and since when everybody played Runecaster, even in normal matches.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was playing Runecaster. I found out the hard way.
I can imagine they're fun to play.
Yeah,
it's
pretty crazy how good they are. Yeah. Well, awesome guys. You're the first ever A Year of Rain champions in the closed beta. Onwards and upwards. You guys gonna keep playing? You guys having a lot of fun with the game?
I guess.
I don't think you can really fully quit a game when you've been this much into it.
Yeah.
It stays with you.
That's it.
You guys been really into it. All right, guys. I'm gonna give you your headsets that you've won as well. Well, congratulations, you get some HyperX cloud stickers.
Well, thank you.
One each, and the beautiful trophy. How are you guys going to decide who gets to take the trophy home?
We'll figure it out.
Awesome. All right, guys. That was our Year of Rain Undead champs. Our winners, Underdogs. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
inside. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Welcome back, guys. We have some bonus content here at the end of today's A Year of Rain Undead Champs. We're joined by the beautiful men from Daedalic Entertainment to talk to us a little bit about, let's start with the finals. Your guys' thoughts, it was a 3-0, but we had a nice long game in the middle. So, I guess my first question is, how do you like how the game's playing right now? Is it something, are you happy with the state of it? Do you think it's looking fun? Because personally, especially over the last couple of weeks, I feel like it's become even more fun to watch and to kind of see how it develops compared to week 3 and 4. I feel like we've gone a bit of a strut. So how does it feel to kind of see that development come along?
Yeah, so maybe we should just more or less introduce ourselves first.
Sure.
So I'm Nick from the Daedalic, and I am the technical lead of the project. And so you are Steffen. Most of you know you as Cleverbyte from Discord, so community manager of the title. And so obviously, clearly we've been observing pretty closely how the matches went out the whole tournament. Huge shout out to all of the players, actually all the teams that participated in the tournament. I've seen some some decisive matches throughout the tournament, but also many very close ones. And it's super cool to see how the game's unfolding right now, and even teams, esports teams picking up on it, as well as underdog teams like the Underdogs, who happen to have won the games actually. And it's always nice to see that preparation pays off. So I was told that they have been preparing pretty well for the games. Yeah. And as you just mentioned, so this was a pretty decisive. It looks like a pretty decisive 3-0 from just the results, just the scores. But as you just mentioned, especially the match in the middle was a very close one. You were just mentioning that looks pretty good for Berlin Esports at the beginning, and then the Underdogs somehow turned it around again, and that's always a great thing to see, right? So yeah, it's super cool to watch these games and to watch these players engaging with the game and having these comeback moments. So yeah, pretty cool.
And Steffen, did you like the games as well? Lots of fun?
Yeah, the games were a lot of fun, especially today. It was great games for finale. The players were how's it called? Excited to play the games.
Yeah.
I talked to them before the matches, and I saw that in game. So it was quite nice to see the games today. My favorite also the second one, and the third one was quite quick, I would say.
Yeah, the third one was quite quick, but you know what? I feel like it's something we haven't really seen, where one team gets such an advantage early that they're actually able to take it into a straight up, we're going to win this game now. In fact, I feel like I was talking to the guys earlier, I was like, it's kind of hard to kill people early on in this game, right? And, then underdogs come in and well, here you go, Wardy, this is exactly how. So that's very interesting. So I'm going to ask the next question. It's the dreaded one. It's the one you probably get asked all the time, I know. When's the update coming?
Okay, so for everyone who don't know, the current beta version is slightly outdated, so we will update it pretty soon, very soon, with the latest changes in balancing, also introducing the third faction then, also a third map already. So there are a lot of changes coming in the next update, and we're planning it very soon, so stay tuned.
Yeah, that's actually... Yeah, it's always tough to see this from a developer perspective when you're attending an event like this and watching it on stream. It's we both know what's already in there, but we just can't show you yet because it might not be stable enough yet, or it is already stable enough, but we just don't want to deploy it yet, just immediately before the finals, because the players wouldn't have any opportunity to prepare for that, like you just mentioned, a third faction or so. And there's all kinds of small things you might have been noticed on stream if you have been watching very closely. And we were like, oh Jesus, this has already been fixed weeks ago, but yeah, it's just not in there yet. So really looking forward to the update, and just please stick with us, and you give us feedback for things you watch on stream, for things that you assume should be different, or anything that pops to mind, suggestions. We're always open for that, and try the best possible to make the game as awesome as possible.
So you said the third faction's coming. Is there anything you can tell us about the third faction before we see it coming into the game?
Yeah, so I don't know. Am I allowed to share some details, Steffen? Okay. So actually, so the third faction is going to be named the Outcasts. I think some of the players might have already spotted that from the menus, for instance. And this is from a world-building perspective, more like it's more like an alliance of the less civilized races in the game. So besides House Rupa, which is more or less like the more laid-back traditional fantasy faction with humans, elves, and dwarves involved, and the undead. Which we also already tried to spice up a little, like, right? So there's not like the boring skeletal archer in there, but flaming skulls instead, and so. The Outcast, in turn, is an alliance of the less civilized races, like, for instance, the Nodes you've been observing as creeps on the maps already, but there's also other units involved, like Dryads or Lizard Folk, and they're accompanied by 3 new heroes as well. And I think you're going to reveal them like step by step in the very near future. But just stay tuned for more exciting stuff. So
Really, really exciting. I mean, new heroes. The game's going to change a lot. I'm like so excited to get back and start playing again and jump into it. And obviously we have early access coming out, hopefully fairly soon as well. We were talking about on some of the talk shows at times. So, obviously, this is the end of the Undead Champs. It's been a good 7 weeks or so since we started this off. How was, like, this whole esports adventure for you guys? Because, obviously, this is kind of the first time you showed the game a lot of the time outside of, in a competitive format as well. And I know you've mentioned you want to keep doing esports in the future. So, kind of how was the process of kind of seeing this tournament come along from kind of an organizer's perspective, I suppose?
Okay, so what's coming next in esports? So we are still thinking that tournaments is an important part for us, and that is where we want to go with this game. So also in future we want to organize more tournaments. Which format the tournaments will be, we will announce that later on. But we started in the technical alpha with a tournament. Now we got a tournament during the beta. And we will probably have a tournament during the early access, a bit more open one, because currently the teams were pre-selected. Next one, maybe the people can just register themselves for a tournament. We will go more in this direction. How it turns out in the end, we will probably see. But from what we saw so far, the interest is there from players as well as viewers. So we are excited for this.
It's really, really cool. Yeah, I mean, I know when we talked on the little talk show, I spilled my feelings for esports, obviously. So, really cool to see potentially more coming, of course. So yeah, we've had a great day. We've had some great games. Do you guys have any final words or anything else you want to mention before we wrap this whole thing up?
Yeah, I guess just as I already mentioned, please stick with us. So we've got a lot in the pipeline. Sometimes it takes some reordering, like when we encounter unencountered issues or when there's so much player feedback coming in. I think Steffen is doing a pretty good job with like reprioritizing stuff and putting up votes on Discord and asking you which you should do first probably and which we should do earlier than other stuff. And we've got our own plans as well, obviously. So we've got a pretty decent roadmap already ahead of us. And so this wraps it up for the game itself, I guess. And I definitely want to thank you, Wally. Thank you for hosting these shows, or for
Thanks
just
for having me. It's great.
really, you did a really great job. Thank you for everything. You're so well prepared, actually, and we did very, very cool interviews. And thanks to our partners at Take TV as well for putting all of this up, and for everybody else involved. So I really, really love the event. It's like, again, it's for us as developers, it's super, super cool to see your game finally come to life.
Yeah.
And especially like this, right? And so I'm super, super excited. The next few weeks, it's gonna be like not much sleep, but we're gonna do this.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much.